I've started collecting or gathering up some of these old picture goer magazines that used to come out every Thursday. The National Film and Entertainment Weekly. As you can see here, there's Marilyn Monroe on the front of this one. There's 8 copies here at the moment, and I thought it might be nice in some of these videos to have a flick through and read some articles. So, very relaxed, very casual. These ones are November the 17th. So I'm going to take away these ones for now, but I promise I'll be doing a video very soon. And so we're still in 1956. This is Joan Collins, Victoria Shaw, Kim Novak. That's 28th of July is the first one. So nice just to hold something that has a sense of history about it. And these are just really not glossy in any way, just paper. So in this one, this was the July the 7th, 1956. This in fact is Colleen Miller. I actually don't know who she is myself. Joan Collins. It's back in Sinatra, giant of show business. So this one's slightly thicker. It says it's a star-packed summer issue. What is the carousel. The new CinemaScope 55 and the most revolutionary musical in years. Sheer delight, with Gordon McRae's revealing a lot of talent. Reviewed April the 28th and was released May the 21st. That's charming. How soft and silken your curls are with Twink. So here we are, there's Joan Collins in an interview with Elizabeth Forrest. She says she knows she was right to go to Hollywood. You can't please everybody. The policeman on duty outside Buckingham Palace eyed the visiting British film star with whom he was being posed for a routine publicity photograph. The camera publicity photograph, or the camera clicked purposely. Well, said the policeman, and you do really like America as much as you say. The tone was light, but the inner meaning, with its note of ruffled British pride, was clear indeed. You see, that's what happens all the time, explained Joan Collins sadly, as the studio roles rushed her off to another London location. What do they expect me to say? Of course I like America. I love Hollywood. I know I was right to go there. But when you leave Britain to work in America, some people over here seem to get the idea that you're letting down the side. I'm not bitter about it, but it does hurt a little. She shivered slightly. It may have been the rain or the chill memory of the barbed cracks that had followed her around when she arrived over here on the way to Jamaica to appear in Sea Wife. They say I've changed. Sure, I've changed. I'm 2 years older. I'd have to change if I'd stayed in Britain too, but no one would have noticed then. Those bitter letters. You can't please everybody. When I was in the States, I was quoted as saying that British films don't give actresses a chance. What happened? I had dozens of bitter letters from all over America condemning me for saying such a thing. Writing down your own country won't get you anywhere with us. That was the gist of the letters. But I wasn't writing down my own country or British films, just stating a fact, as I knew it had affected me and other actresses. Maybe the statement wasn't too tactful, but to do Joan justice, she made those same complaints over and over again when she was working in British studios, only nobody took them seriously, and her success in Hollywood surely shows that she had a point, an important one. I was reading in the picture goer out in Hollywood about Eunice Gayson leaving Pinewood, and I thought, jolly good luck to her. Of course Pinewood didn't like it, because what she said about the lack of opportunities is true. It's also true that for some people in British films, Joan is the girl who proved them devastatingly wrong, and the thought bothers them. Do you know, just the other day, a columnist asked me whether it was true when I was making films in Britain that I said I preferred going in nightclubs to working. Of course, it was rubbish, I said as much, but some producer had told him that. Neckline complaint. The wife of one producer always used to be on set when I was on call. She didn't trust me. She complained if my neckline was too low, and I know she thought her husband shouldn't use me in his films because I was too sexy. Even now, the memory of the days when she was regarded as just the slinky little bad girl of British films rankles, but Hollywood has given her self-assurance as well as a short hairstyle. The testing time, however, is still ahead of her. In Sea Wife, she plays a totally new kind of role for her, a nun. If she pulls it off, perhaps even her critics in Britain, who can't believe that Joan is a girl worth taking seriously, will admit that, for once, they were wrong. Goodness, and that was, what did I say, 1956, and we're now in 2023, and still utterly famous and stunning. Of course, no makeup, but goodness me. A real Hollywood glamour icon, I think. Yes, it's the gloss that counts out of doors. That's indoors. One thing I've discovered about America is the way things are packaged that's so important. Look at those long-stemmed lovelies parading up and down Fifth Avenue. Visitors look at them, goggle-eyed, and mutter to themselves, why haven't we got women like that? Is this a passport to stardom? Dateline Hollywood, big money spells danger. Frank Sinatra drew deeply on his cigarette, clamped tightly between his thin fingers. The smoke coiled upwards into his face, but he seemed not to notice. His luminous blue eyes took on a faraway look, and he said almost to himself, "Man, that was a low year." We didn't speak for a while. He and I were remembering the year 1953, when Sinatra was previously in this country. The good-hearted Maggio. As soon as he saw the script, you knew he just had to play Private Maggio in From Here to Eternity. It proved the turning point in his career when he won him an Oscar. Cynical, trusting Barney, Sinatra enjoyed making Young Heart and working with Doris Day. It confirmed him as an actor and showed the variety of his talents and a hint of what was to come. The Tender Trap displayed another side of Sinatra, zestful, and with beauties such as Lola Albright around, he had every excuse for living it up on the screen. Fun-loving, jolly-haunted Frankie Machine. Kim Novak was not the only challenge to him in The Man with the Golden Arm. His part provided another. He really studied it, spending hours with doctors and at clinics for dope addicts. Cocky Johnny Concho. Every star, they say, wants to play a Western character. So he made Johnny Concho, and he did manage to get out of the rut with his part, for Concho was certainly an original out west. It was indeed a low year. His record sales had hit bottom. His tour was discouraging, and when he went home alone at night, only a few teenagers waited around to see him leave. His voice, they said, was gone, Sinatra was a confused, troubled man. Now he is back, bigger than ever. He has a new LP record album just out and is making the pride and the passion. His face is suntanned and his eyes are bright and healthy. There is an outward swagger to his manner. Reflecting on his spectacular comeback, he says, "Man, I feel buoyant. I feel about 8 feet tall." Frank Sinatra today is a giant of entertainment. He has much to feel buoyant about, but I think he is still a rather confused and deeply troubled man. The point is, because he is Sinatra and all that this means in showbiz today, we hope to keep him at the top, are entitled to know more about the manner of the man he is and what makes him tick. He has been called the mystery man of entertainment, but I'm not going to solve the Sinatra mystery because there is simply no mystery and no enigma. Frank Sinatra is as uncomplicated as Bugs Bunny and also as involved as aerodynamics. You can see almost there is to see of him for the price of a cinema seat. If you want the sound of Sinatra's voice as his friends hear it, play a record. To see what he looks like at home before breakfast, look at his photograph. He is Maggio in From Here to Eternity. He has the fun-loving zest of Charlie in The Tender Trap. He is as cocky as Johnny Concho, as cynical and trusting as Barney in Young at Heart, as haunted as Frankie Machine in The Man with the Golden Arm. This is the real Frank Sinatra. Everything about him is on public exhibition, and they still call this man a mystery. The more interesting speculation is what makes Sinatra the way he is. The first things you notice about Frank Sinatra are the contradictions in his manner. He is an aggressive, almost arrogant fellow, and almost at the same moment intensely sensitive. He tells you he feels buoyant, but he tells it with sadness. He's vulnerable to criticism, but he doesn't give a hoot for your approval. He knows he is good, and he knows he's proved himself. You would expect self-confidence, even conceit, but Sinatra seems nervous, unsure of himself, with a tense air about him. I sought some of the important reasons for the extraordinary success he has created in 3 years, or I happened to start it rolling. Sinatra lights a fresh cigarette. So, like I say, it was a low year, he repeats. Then I realised I was pushing 40, so one day I got up and just decided to go to work. I wanted to start again with a clean slate. I changed my agent and I changed my record company. That was a big help, I guess. My voice, that's still the same. The stuff I recorded maybe had a lot to do with it. I had a lot of good songs. Remembering that Sinatra is the man who first started, the girls swooning when he sang. I say, your fans too seem to have changed. You seem to be appealing to the more sophisticated public. Sinatra shakes his head. No, he exclaims vigorously. They didn't change, they just grew up and got older too. I guess they got less hysterical, you know. Few people knew in 1953 that Sinatra, the man they had written off, had just completed the film that was a turning point in his career and started his new career as a dramatic actor. In From Here to Eternity, he was Private Maggio, and it later earned him an Academy Award. When I first saw the script, he recalls, I just knew I had to play Maggio. I wanted it badly. That guy was me. I needed the money, but I wanted to be Maggio so bad that I'd have worked for free. Which is your favourite screen role, Frank? Oh, all of them. I like. The Tender Trap was a lot of fun to do. I enjoyed working with Doris Day in Young at Heart, and of course there was The Man with the Golden Arm. That part was a kind of challenge. I really studied for it, Spent a lot of time with doctors, watching guys in dope clinics and all that. There is another long silence. Then, as if remembering all that has happened to him in this time, he says, "Man, they have been wonderful for years. Everything has really jived for me." This repeated pop talk in Sinatra's conversation is not a phony affection. Like everything about him, his talk is an essential part of his character and personality. It helps to explain a unique and strange feeling you get talking with him, an atmosphere puzzling at first because it is different from that of most Americans you meet, and certainly unlike that of other movie stars I know. In the nasal drawl of his voice, in a weary way he shrugs his shoulders, spreads his hands out like a fan, and looks reflectively at the burning tip of his cigarette. Sinatra is an authentic American musician, a vintage Pete Kelly. He is the stock character we see in the many films of the Chicago jazz era. There are other signs that make him appear a man living out of his time. Even the way he dresses, with his dark carbon-toned suits, his pointed-toe shoes, his solid-coloured ties, his sharp top coats, and wide-brimmed hats. He is in the style of the 1920s. Another important but always obvious factor in Sinatra's personality is that he is a Sicilian, with all the natural aggression and brooding of this proud Latin race. Because he once punched a man's nose, something Sicilian does frequently, because he has been involved in 2 marriages, something many Hollywood stars do more easily than taking a bath, because he wants to keep his private life private, something you and I do all the time. He is treated as a kind of misfit. In The Man with the Golden Arm, Frankie Machine carried a 40-pound monkey on his back. It was the weight of his craving. I think Sinatra has a monkey on his back. It's time we looked away, let him kick it in his own way and in his own time. It's interesting. I enjoyed that. We'll come back to this one in another video. Monroe means big business. Marilyn Monroe has made up her mind. She wanted to drop that wide-eyed, gripping, sexy blonde tag that 20th century Fox had attached to her. Top photographer Milton Green, the man behind Monroe, supported her. Marilyn then was staying with Green and his wife Amy at the Connecticut home. This was around 18 months ago. Yeah, we'll come back to that one. Let's just have a little flick through. Oops. The paper sheet's actually incredibly thin. Tony Curtis. Oh, there's so much for us to read together. I think it's going to be wonderful reading the articles, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I will. Oh, let's just end. Oh, goodness me. Wonder Boy or Fluke. Everyone's talking about Elvis Presley. He's the rock and roll guitar singer who's looming large as a new prince of the swoon ages. He's topped the pops with his disc Heartbreak Hotel And reader service writers want to find out, is he a boy wonder or just a fluke success? Is it true he's a show-off with more personality than talent? Mildred Parsons from Manchester. Will he replace Johnny Ray as king of the pin-up swingers? Here are the facts. He's 21, dark, looks like a junior Rock Hudson. He shakes, rattles and rolls a lot in his act, called a dry-eyed Johnny Ray. With twice the locomotion when he sings, he likes life to be colourful, dresses in black and pink or clover, owns 2 Cadillacs, one canary yellow, the other pink. He sells himself hard with publicity, insists on 2 giant cut-out figures of himself being displayed wherever he appears. He's nicknamed the Cat because he's slinky and sneers slightly when he smiles. He has a foot in the Hollywood door with Paramount, as star in a college musical. His future, there's a big hint from Cyril Bennett on page 17, but can you jog my memory please about the TV play that starred Mel? Oh, that's in that article there, as it goes on to page 17. But isn't that interesting? Wonder boy or fluke? Goodness me, well, again, sadly with his passing in the 70s, but what a career prior to that, on film and as a musician. Certainly not a fluke. So on page 17, notes. Fan affair. So and there's something about him, but you go to the Marlboroughs. Recommending dramatic. Something was on page 17, but I can't see. BBC. Robert Murray. Robert Paddy Lewis. I can't see if I find it again. We'll go back to it. Max Factor. Tuck. So we'll continue browsing through these July editions and November. Thanatos, Glamour Surprise. And this bumper summer issue, which has a slightly different tone to it, but oh my goodness, there's so many wonderful stories, articles, and in fact this one then drifts into colour. They're feuding over Curtis, Oklahoma. Oh dear, I think it was in the end. most definitely will go back to some articles within